Time for some labels. Let's just shrink this guy up. Shrink this guy back up. Come down here. Whoops. Data and data.length is greater than 0 and render y-axis. Labels. Const render y-axis labels. And once again we'll say const gap equals calculate height. We're also going to take in the min and the y max. We'll destructure those out. And then we'll say const x equals x margin minus 20. That's just going to back them off, the text off a little bit for the 10 for here, and then a little bit more just for our numerical data. And then we're going to return G with a key, Y, axis, labels, index, and oh, that needs to be a parenthesis, and so is that. There we go. Here we're going to say SVG text, and in here we're going to need another method for creating these. So we're going to do that first. So let's go to the very top of our file and import, use state and use effect, and then right below, right above our little variables here, we'll say const y axis labels set y axis labels equals use state, and that's going to be an empty array. And we'll come over here and add our use effect. We want this to run the first time only, so we'll make an empty dependency array. And we're going to do const y keys equals data.map. Say item y key. So that's just going to send an array with only, like for this, all of our months. And const y axis data. And we're going to need a quick sort function of sorts. So let's go up here. In fact, let's just put this in our source, create a new file called utils.js, and we'll say export const quick sort. This is going to take in an array. I'm going to say if the array.length is less than or equal to 1, we're going to return the array. We're going to use a little recursion here. So we're going to split all the data into two halves, sort the two halves, and then concatenate them back together. Alright, so we'll say let pivot equals array 0, and we'll say let left array equals an array, and let right array equals an array, and we will fix this right here. And we'll say for let I is equal to 1, I is less than array.length, and I++. Not a big fan of the for functions, but this one does come in handy. And if array at index I is less than our pivot, then we're going to take and say left array dot push array at position I. Otherwise, right array dot push array at position I. Now we're going to return an array. We're going to spread out and recall quicksort with the left array, our pivot, and quicksort right array. This is a little cryptic. Do some googling on quicksort if you want to understand more about that. If I do quicksort, bring that up. First thing, this will explain everything to you. That's exactly what we just wrote. So we're going to get a pivot. We're going to partition it to two arrays. We're going to recursively sort the subarrays and then have our base case. So I will leave that up to you for future reading. So now we're just going to go and bring that into our line chart. We're going to import quicksort from our utils. And right here, for x-axis data, we're going to sort it. Because we need these to be, sorted numerically for this purpose. And we're going to say we're going to sort our Y keys. So we pulled out all of the data points, which are these. We have now sorted them, and then we can set Y-axis labels to Y-axis data. Alright, and then for this, we'll just go over here and do a quick fix and disable the depend. Now what we could do is exhaust. We could take this, copy that out. Let's get rid of all of this. See, that's still red. That's fine. We'll fix this over here in a minute. If we go to ESLint, and then we'll add some rules, and we'll set this to 0. And I believe this needs to be a string, I think. Let's see. But let's do it as a string. Yep, and now that's gone. So if we put a 1 in there, notice this will go. It would have went to yellow if we wouldn't have had the other problem that we're having, which is this guy right here. Oh yeah, we can't really have that because we haven't mapped over anything yet. So before we do this, let's cut this and let's return y-axis labels.map item index. Now we can return this guy. And notice how it's yellow. That's because I have the 1 here. If I make this a 0, should, oh, it's not, we're not unusing these, so we could put that no unused vars in the rules here if we wanted to, but I just wanted to show you, and I will show you once we finish this up, how we can have this change the colors. Alright, so after we map over these, we're going to say const y is going to be the container height minus the y margin minus the gap between the ticks times the index. Probably see a pattern. And we'll say data points equals data.length minus 1 const text value equals, we're going to take the min plus the y max divided by the data points and times that by our index. It's going to be the value of our text. So right here. Inside of here we'll have our text value. And we need some parameters for this guy so we can place him. So we'll say the x is going to equal x. The y is going to equal y plus, we'll go 12. Let's start out with 12. That's going to be our font size. Our text anchor is going to equal end. Font weight equals 400. Font size is going to equal to 12. And the fill is going to equal to, we're going to make all these configurable in a moment like we've been doing. Let's go back to our line chart. And there we go. They're off by a little bit. That's because we're doing this, where did I put that at? Oh yeah, we just did 12 here. We just did this. It's up. And if we split the difference between the font size, it'll line them back up. So let's go back to our, let's get rid of this. Let's duplicate this. Over here, we'll go to our configs. And we'll make a y-axis config equals font size 12 text anchor end fill font weight 400, and we'll put our rotation back in there. This will be funny, but that's okay. Now we'll destructure all of this. Font size, text, anchor, fill, font, weight, and rotation. So we'll take our font size, put him here. But also, we need to put him in our Y. And we'll divide that by 3. Text anchor, we'll go here. Font weight, we'll go here. Fill, we'll go here. And Prettier's not happy about something. Oh. Equals y-axis config, right? And we're just not using rotation. Now see, they line up so much better there. And we probably could have made this -10. Butts them right up to it. Beautiful. We'll make it 13 just to give it a little bit of space. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. And then if we want to rotate it, what we're going to have to do is add the origin, backticks, X, backticks, Y, and rotation equals, I believe that is correct. And now, see, now they're all jacked up, so let's make that back to 0. Just so we know it works. Beautiful, beautiful. There's our ticks. The next video we're going to have a whole lot of fun because we're going to figure out how we draw a line across this. And then we're going to have to get into how do we make that a curvy line. But first, let's just get a line and then we'll deal with the hard stuff next.